all this about buying chocolates? And Joy, why haven't you thrown these things yet?
Relax, mommy. We're taking these things to Joie Cali. Joie Cali, the tent outside Massy stores at Choc. You have to bring all your plastic and glass containers. Make sure you wash them clean and they sanitize. They will weigh them and you get points from Massy.
But my chocolate!
Yay! That's it.
In July 2016, I picked up the phone and cold called the Massy stores. I didn't have a blueprint, just a hypothesis. What if St. Lucians could earn rewards for recycling the same way they earn points for groceries? So I asked to speak with the person responsible for community and environmental initiatives. And that's how I met Soraya Best Joseph, the former Divisional Head of Marketing and Communications at Massy Store St. Lucia, and the first person willing to explore an idea that had never been tested in St. Lucia. Soraya didn't just agree to a meeting. She opened a door. That first conversation kick-started a year of pitching, planning, and shaping what would become St. Lucia's first reward-based recycling collection depots. 1 year later, the Joie Cali pop-up depots came to life. Temporary collection platforms set up in Massy's supermarket parking lots where people could drop off clean plastic, glass, and cans, have them weighed, and receive Massy Store's loyalty points in return. When the pop-up depot's 9-week trial run launched on September 16, 2017 at Massy Mega, Massy Cul-de-sac, and Massy New Dock, we had no idea what to expect. But in just 9 depot days, 400 people showed up, and approximately 5.3 metric tons of household recyclables were recovered. We tested everything: the exchange system, points per kilogram, customer flow, even our little pop-up shop under the tents that we set up at Sunrise. The results were unmistakable. When recycling is easy, rewarding, and familiar, people participate. St. Lucians were ready once the system made sense. So naturally, we scaled up. The Pop-Up Depots 2.0 pilot ran for a full year from March 2019 to February 2020. Participation tripled to 1,148 households, and together we collected over 26.4 metric tons of recyclables. That's over 500,000 items kept out of our rivers, communities, and landfill. And on double points weekends, participation tripled. Clear evidence that trusted incentives change behavior. Across both pilots and a total of 33 operating depot days, we recovered 31.7 metric tons of recyclables. That's the volume of material you would get if you filled up every aisle of one Massy supermarket from floor to ceiling twice. And we diverted nearly 80% of all that material recovered. We were able to preserve approximately 158,400 cubic feet of landfill space. That's roughly 65 40-foot containers. And we avoided 34.2 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions. That's comparable to planting 1,300 trees or removing 7 cars from the road for a full year. We also created 20 green jobs. These results are significant, and they offer clear insight into what a national resource recovery system can become. And Massey Stores didn't just host the sites. They played a critical role as a key linchpin in the architecture of the pop-up depots. Behind the scenes, they provided funding and infrastructure, supported our volunteers, and manually added Massey points, spreadsheet after spreadsheet, to every participant's account. Their loyalty system became the behavioral engine that validated what our data showed. Incentives, when embedded in existing retail habits, drive participation far more effectively than guilt, fear, or lectures. But then came the hard part, closing the loop. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the sector stalled, and nearly 480,000 cubic feet of stored material sat waiting for processing. But Massey didn't walk away. Along with 6 other sponsors, they funded the final material sorting and extraction and supported operations until every recoverable kilogram of recyclable material could be processed. 5 years after the end of the pop-up depot's collection phase, Massey Stores helped us finish what we started and honor the commitment we made to the public. And yes, some material was ultimately lost to the landfill because downstream markets weren't ready. But that's exactly the point. This pilot demonstrated that reward-based decentralized resource recovery systems work, but it also exposed the gaps that must be fixed. A returnable containers framework that explicitly includes non-cash rewards, not just deposits, shared financing, functioning end markets, and community-level collection as part of our national waste strategy. This journey with Massey Stores was never just about recycling. It was about building trust, proving feasibility, and making circularity feel like an everyday action, not a luxury. What started as a cold call became a national proof of concept. And together with Massey Stores, we've shown that when you meet people where they are, circularity becomes part of everyday life, right there in the supermarket parking lot.